Well, another big disappointment in VW aftermarket world. Trying to install this T between the engine and the oil pressure switch to run a mechanical oil pressure gauge. Come to find out, the straight thread on this T just goes into the engine, never achieves like a friction fit, and stops right there when the tip of the T is butting up against something inside the engine. So I can't, from this position, connect the hose for the oil pressure gauge. That has to point up. Usually with a pipe thread you can use some common sense and have it tighten up in the spot that you want, but this is completely loose until now it's again butted up against something inside the engine. Taking this off, the surface here that this is screwing into was not precisely machined at all. It would not be an appropriate surface for, say, a copper sealing washer to bear against. You might remember from my previous video there's also a EMPI T. So this is the VDO T, this is the EMPI T. The EMPI T is a little shorter, and that's EMPI T. The thread protruding here is a little shorter with the EMPI T. So it goes into the engine until it makes contact here, which was no help because when it made contact here it wasn't pointing up. It was in some other orientation. So what I've done now, I had this here as a comparison. I think they've got more taper on this device, and there's more taper on the oil pressure switch, this part. But what I'll do now, I got some copper washers, 10mm, put the washer on here, and then I filed this surface. Now whether it's perfectly flat and whether it's perpendicular to the threads, no one knows, but I filed this surface until I can take the T and the washer, come in here, tighten it down, it comes around to about 11 o'clock and it's tight. So I'll cross my fingers and put a wrench on that and bring it up to 12 o'clock along with a load of aviation forma gasket, and hopefully it won't leak. So again, would it kill somebody to make a T? And maybe I should put myself in charge of this, but can someone just make a T with one tapered thread and one metric thread and one standard thread? It would be a big help. Thanks, and be sure and watch my other videos.